Welcome to another video. Today we're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to go for a little bit of a longer video and we're going to try and give a more detailed explanation on how we kind of look at things and how I analyze things. It was one of the feedback that I got was that some of the methodologies that we use are really advanced, and a lot of industries, a lot of businesses are not using these kind of ideas at the moment, and hopefully this will give a more of an overview of what we can actually achieve by using data analytics in health and safety and using KPIs. So I've kind of put this kind of roadmap together for you, and it all starts with data collection. So data collection, data analysis, visualization and reporting, continuous improvements, the benefits and the challenges. So I'm going to run through all of those areas with you today. So data analytics in health and safety using key performance indicators involves a systematic collection, analysis and interpretation of data to monitor, measure and improve health and safety performance within an organisation. Now, by leveraging KPIs, organisations can identify trends, assess risks and implement strategies to enhance safety outcomes. Here's how this process works. Now, when we define the relevant KPIs, we're looking for things like incident rates, lost time, injury frequency rates, near-miss reporting, severity rate, employee training and completion rate, and we're also looking at safety audits and inspections, compliance and safety procedures. Now, what I would say, all of this is great information and it really plays a part in the data-driven process. But if a business is not collecting all the data it can, then we're not going to get an accurate account of what's actually going on and how we measure this. And what I mean by that is the fact that if people are not reporting incidents, if things are going under the radar, then we're not able to make an informed decision. Now, a lot of businesses, a lot of practitioners that I speak with, they're of the opinion that, they promote zero harm, zero incidents, zero accidents and all this kind of stuff, which is absolutely fine. But when it comes to data, you have to have the mindset of that every possible bit of data, whether it's a good occurrence or a bad occurrence, is valuable. So we have to have that in mind, is that all data has value. So in an organization, when the culture is that, we have to report everything, then you're going to get more data. And sometimes there's going to be a lot of fluff in there. Sometimes there's going to be just stuff that we already know, but at least we're recording it, at least we're tracking it. And that's how we get key indicators that we can then use in a business to reduce the larger kind of accidents and make the business safer, make the culture more open so that we can encourage employees to say, look, this is what this data has found because all the employees are reporting it, and then this is what we've done as a reaction to that. So, we've touched on that. So data collection, and when we collect data, there's so many ways now that we can collect data. Now we've got automated systems, manual reporting, integrated databases. So when we talk about automated systems, we're talking about sensors, wearable devices, and software platforms that can automate the collection of real-time data related to health and safety. One of the great things that we use in the care sector is, cameras now. So at any point, if we need to review that video technology, then, when somebody's maybe doing a lift or a hoist, and then they say that, that they injured their back, or, they have difficulty in the process, then we can actually watch how other individuals are doing stuff if they're involved in the hoist, or we can understand what they were doing at that time by watching the wearable cameras. So this is just a kind of idea of what we can do to collect data. And our integrated databases is collecting data from multiple sources such as HR system, training records, incident reports, in a centralized database for comprehensive analysis. Now, I preach, anybody that knows me, I'm preaching about this all the time, that we must collect data from multiple sources, to understand a full overview of what's actually going on in the business and how we can counteract these challenges, these issues. So yeah, really important that we have that kind of access. What we would do is we would create databases for each individual sector in the business, so HR, training, operations, etc., and then we would then have a centralized database that collected all the information by selecting all the parameters, and that would give us more of an overview. But we can go into more detail in another video if that's what you guys want. So data analysis is talking about the descriptive analytics. It summarizes current data to understand the current state of health and safety, such as average incident rates over time. Diagnostic analytics explores the cause of specific incidents or trends, such as identifying root causes of increased injury rates in a particular department. Predictive analytics uses historical data to predict future safety incidents, helping to proactively address potential hazard. And then we go on to prescriptive analytics, which is where we recommend actions based on data analysis, such as increase in training in areas with higher incident rates. So those are our kind of core data analysis processes there. Now, visualization and reporting. So we do that by using dashboards, reports, benchmarking. So when we talk about dashboards, it's interactive dashboards, reports that are generated on a regular basis to summarize key points and recommendations on KPIs, and then benchmarking, comparing another organization's KPIs with industry standards or historical performance to assess. So when we talk about benchmarking, you can look at another organization and see exactly what they're doing and how they compare to us. But ultimately, you want to be looking at historical performance, really, in terms of what we've been doing and how we've set key performance indicators before, and how our now that we're going down the data-driven approach, how the key performance indicators are different from what they were previously. Then we're going on to continuous improvement and looking at root cause analysis, feedback loops, strategic decision making. So when we talk about root cause, we're investigating the underlying reasons for incidents or non-compliance and all the corrective actions that we need to take into consideration. So feedback loops, regularly updating the KPIs. This is really important. This is one of the things that I think most organizations struggle with, because of the fact that they're not agile enough. And if you watch my other videos, I always talk about the agility of a business and how do we create a business that can respond quickly to changes. So if we notice that something's going on in the business and we then need to change our KPIs at a strategic level, then how quickly can the business allocate resources and change safety programs and policy changes as well? That's when we talk about agility, and that's for me, the really exciting part is that how does that give you the competitive advantage? How does that agility and having that ability to strategically change KPIs in order to get the outcome that is best for the business and, you know, every individual in the business. There's the benefits of that of putting KPIs and being able to change KPIs. It's much what we talked about just earlier in the video, is that the culture is a lot better because we get things done and we do what we say we're going to do. So if we say that we're going to reduce incidents, then, you know, we have to demonstrate that we are reducing incidents, and we do that by everybody reporting, having the ability to change the business and strategically select KPIs. What that does, when we get results and when there's a change in the business, when you're going through a data-driven process, it is a change to the business. So the way that you have to navigate these changes, you have to create buy-in from the organization, employees at top level management, right at the bottom of the company. Everybody has to buy into what's actually going on to see the benefits of, you know, data and how we're improving. And it reduces the risk to the business. So, you know, a business is at risk, in my view, is if it doesn't know where it's at in terms of what's our biggest risk. What is the biggest risk to our employees at the moment? Is it the biggest risk to our business, the fact that we don't know enough about our business? Is the biggest risk to our business the fact that employees are not reporting, and eventually that is because of that culture that we've created in a business, that a major accident or incident happens in the business and it's catastrophic, and there's loss of time, there's loss to the organization, there's loss to company reputation, and, you know, it results in maybe being fined or sued, civil or criminal actions. You know, those are the risks that we have to look at. And in terms of the benefit, is that we stay compliant, because everything starts at the top with compliance. You know, what does the legislation say? What does regulation say? And, you know, what is our corporate governance? How do we manage these things? So it ensures that the organisation meets legal and industry safe standards. Cost savings. I'm a massive person in terms of being resourceful. You know, why do we, as a company, why do we waste resources? And, you know, if we can find a way to do it better and cheaper in terms of, you know, being detailed, and not spending money or spending extra time on doing something that's irrelevant to our business. So many times when I've been in health and safety training, or we've been doing some kind of additional training, that the modules are not relevant to the business. So if we know that our business is not doing XYZ as a business, do we really need to teach our employees about XYZ when we should be focusing on ABC, you know? So in terms of also reducing cost savings, it's lower insurance premiums, fewer lost work days, and decreased legal liabilities. Now, the challenges, and we talk about these in my other videos, is the data quality. Ensuring the accuracy and completeness of data collected, particularly with manual reporting systems. Now let me read that again, because this is probably one of the most important parts about any data-driven process, is that you're ensuring the accuracy and completeness of data collected, particularly with manual reporting systems. So if you're reporting manually still, if you're still living in the manual ages and you're writing a bit of paper, then how accurate is the information that they're giving. When we build a data reporting form, we are very selective of the parameters that we put onto that form. There might be multiple parameters which ask more than the above, but what we're doing is we're narrowing down specifically to what information that we're trying to get and what information is relevant at that particular time. Now, the integration, combining data from disparate sources in a cohesive analytical platform, is a challenge. That is probably another one of the hardest things, is to integrate all the systems, because you've got to start with the end user in mind. When you get involved with data, you have to start with the end user in mind. So when we talk about that, are we going into HR department? Their process is going to have to change. The way that they record information might have to change. The way that we go to operations, their way that they collect data might have to change. And that's why we lead on to change management. It's encouraging adoption of new safety processes and technologies among employees. Now, I'm sure you've seen a couple of my videos before when I talk about change management and creating wins and creating company buy-in and getting the company on board. Data can be disruptive. That's really important to think about, is data is disruptive because it can expose people, it can expose the organization, it can disrupt social groups, it can disrupt maybe the governmental groups because they may not like the way that you're changing the way that you do stuff. There's so many factors that have to be addressed when you start going in a data-driven journey, because with data-driven journeys, it's factual-based, unbiased decision-making in terms of if we notice that there's a constant issue with our care workers getting sore backs, and then we say, they need manual handling training, they need lifting training, and what happens from there is that we say, with our training is that people over a certain weight or a certain age shouldn't be doing the training, shouldn't be doing lifting. And then the difficulty in that is the fact that these individuals might be isolated or feel isolated, that we've said, okay, you can't do lifting anymore, you're not fit enough to do lifting, or you're not of the age to do lifting. So you have to think about all these things and your approach when you start putting prescriptive analytics into play, because these things will have a knock-on effect in that. And this is where, if you guys want, maybe I can do another video on emotional intelligence, but that's where you have to really understand emotional intelligence, because you're dealing with so many different personalities in an organization as it is, that you have to understand how these people are going to be feeling and how to navigate the process as smooth as possible. Now, by effectively using KPIs and data analytics, organizations can significantly improve their health and safety outcomes, leading to safer work environments and a more efficient operations there. But this one it's a 20-minute video, guys. Listen, most of you probably might not understand all of the stuff that we're talking about in there, but if there's a specific area where you think, look, I really want to learn a little bit more of that, comment on the in any one of the where it's been posted, like in Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and we'll dive deeper into that. But this is where it starts. Data collection, data analysis, visualization and reporting, continuous improvement, the benefits of it, and the challenges. These are all the things that you have to navigate, and you'll be surprised how easier and more rewarding your day-to-day job is. Okay, guys, we'll see you in the next video.